what you're gonna say. I can't believe what you're alluding to, Max. Let it out. Let it out. What are you trying to say?
This is my hot take. You just calm down. He is a great, great fighter. A good big man doesn't beat a great little man. It takes something more than a good big man to do that, and Lopez is more than just good.
Punches are not made, they are born. And this guy, Lopez, was born to punch. And he's got one other thing going for him, Steven and Max. He reminds me of Pacquiao, Lopez, in a way, not just with power in either hand, but his closing step, his ability to explode. You know, kind of like an athlete in football, basketball, any of those sports where it's not about running a 40, it's about the quickness. It's about the closing step, the burst. He's got that burst. Not everybody's got that burst.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman go head-to-head in a heated discussion about Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, breaking down their abilities, punching power, and overall career achievements.
New York City, January 31st, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. I always say it, when boxing gets it right, no other sport comes close. And this is boxing getting it right. The best fighting the best. Both fighters believe that this matchup settles the argument about who leads the new era. So what do we think of the Styles matchup, guys? This is a high-speed chess match a la Sugar Ray Leonard or Pernell Whitaker, Leonard and Benitez, or yes. Pernell Whitaker, Buddy McGirt, or is it a Jerry versus Jerry?
Stephen A. Smith commended Teofimo Lopez's defensive skills, pointing out his lightning-fast reflexes and knack for evading punches even in close-quarters exchanges.
Made sure to show the world that at 23 years of age, I'm a champion, and you're going to have to come take this from me. I'm not giving you a damn thing. I loved his quickness. We know about Lopez's power, but I'm talking about his quickness defensively. But I saw Lopez being elusive, and I love that because it's one thing for you to have the power and the quickness to go along with the power offensively. A lot of guys can look good until they get hit. There were times where he got hit, and there were other times where he was slipping.
Consistently highlights Teofimo Lopez's track record of performing on boxing's biggest stages. Smith points out that Lopez isn't fazed by top-level opponents, referencing his commanding victory over Vasily Lomachenko as proof.
We all know that Lomachenko's footwork is exceptional. It's practically unrivaled. So you could see what he's done to numerous fighters, which contributed to them quitting, like Nicholas Walters and others. He tried that with Lopez. It didn't work. Lopez's footwork worked. His speed was there. Some power, obviously. But his elusivity is what impressed me most. The fact that he was able to slip a number, not all, but a number of those
he turned with Lomachenko.
pitches.
He wouldn't let Lomachenko establish his outside foot.
And I loved it.
Yeah, for me, coming into this fight, obviously I always talk to Max about fighting. I love it. I was thinking, and Lopez mentioned it pre-fight, everybody thought it was going to be very Mayweather-Canelo when they fought, and that he would be outclassed. If you look at the first 6 rounds, it was about patience. He was patient. He didn't rush himself. He used his jab, which is something that we aren't used to seeing.
Eddie Atlas joined Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman to weigh in, noting that Teofimo Lopez's toughest test is going up against one of the top pound-for-pound fighters. Atlas highlighted Stevenson's elite fundamentals, emphasizing that Lopez's raw athleticism won't be enough against a fighter with that level of technical mastery.
Challenge lies ahead for Lopez this upcoming weekend.
What challenge? The challenge of fighting for me, my estimation, the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Either him or Crawford. You choose it, it doesn't matter. You can flip-flop either one of them. They're the 2 top guys. The challenge is to get his bomb to the target. Yeah, like Customano, my mentor, used to say, you know, Teddy, having power is great, but if you don't have a means to get it to the target, it has no value. It's like a military weapon, he used to say. If you don't have a missile, it just blows up and makes a big hole in the ground. So that's the challenge. Get it to the target. Get it to the chin or the body. This might be a good idea with a guy who moves his head so much, but get it to the target with Lomachenko. So keep yourself together mentally with all that going on, with all the chaos stuff coming at you, and don't get discouraged, don't get frustrated if he's hard.
Kellerman repeatedly points out that Stevenson's victories aren't just about winning, they're about controlling the fight. His precise footwork, mastery of distance, and sharp anticipation let him set the tempo and dominate the rhythm of every match.
Shakur is one of those guys and who comes along, and I think this is really the question about him. I said he is one of those. Is he one of those guys? Like Purnell, like Roy, like Floyd, their defenses were so good, and they boxed in a way where they weren't going to take unnecessary risks. They weren't running and holding. You know, I had a problem with the second half of the Haney-Norman fight because I felt like they continue to box. Purnell did, Roy did, and Shakur does now, right? But when a guy has those advantages in boxing skill and speed, and they don't take risks, they are almost impossible to beat. So no matter who Purnell was fighting, no matter who Roy was fighting, if someone would have asked me who they're going to be, they're fighting Godzilla, Purnell. They're fighting Roy. Shakur has that look to me, and the style.
He recognized that both fighters possess impressive skills, but stressed that Shakur Stevenson isn't known for his punching power. Instead, his victories come from sharp accuracy, strong defense, and ring control rather than knockouts.
Difference here is that they're both twitchy, they're both fast, they're both excellent boxers. Teo's a puncher. I know it hasn't shown up in recent fights, but we have watched both of their careers. Shakur is not a puncher.
No.
Teo is.
Teo is it can be an explosive, I hit you with a shot you don't see, and you are out cold type puncher.
And talking about power, strength too. I think Teo's going to be the much stronger guy in there. Shakur Stevenson's not a strong guy.
I think he's getting stronger.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
agree.
But this is his first fight at 140 though. That's what I'm saying. I'm not disrespecting
I
his
feel like,
strength.
but I also feel like that Shakur might surprise you, Mike, with his physical strength. Physical strength, as we all know, doesn't always translate to punching power.
Sure, of course not.
But when he was a younger fighter, he looked like he could be moved around by his opponent.
Like
It doesn't look like that anymore.
Yeah, no, he's definitely matured in his body. But first fight at 140, Teo's what? I think this is maybe his fifth fight at 140?
Yeah.
Something like that?
That's true, but Shakur has a frame where he can put on 140 very
Max Kellerman highlights that Shakur Stevenson faces higher stakes, as his flawless record and technical prowess are on the line. Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez comes in as the underdog, with less pressure and more to gain, making the bout both unpredictable and highly dangerous.
Is there an advantage there where Shakur is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy? On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before. He's lost to Campbell.
Shakur Stevenson has emphasized just how important this fight is for his career, presenting it as an opportunity to establish himself as one of the elite pound-for-pound fighters in boxing today.
So people think the fight with Teo is either going to be you delivering a masterclass,
or a knockout by Teo.
yeah, or you getting into some type of brawl with Teo and end up getting knocked out, right? What are fans getting wrong about the matchup?
I think the fans is getting wrong about the matchup is where I'm not sleeping on that I know about Teo. Teo's a good boxer. He's boxer first. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out, or he's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main thing. And also the biggest thing that everybody don't realize with me, I can punch. Everybody say, oh, he can't punch, and then boom, crack somebody, and then they laying down, or something may happen to where they hurt or something like that. So I think that's too.
A lot of boxing analysts view the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez as an intriguing chess match where...
Because I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, you know, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive, early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does...
Teofimo Lopez is widely viewed as a quick starter who thrives on explosive moments at mid-range, using precise counterpunching and early surges to control fights. However, if that high-energy approach fades over the course of a full 12 rounds, analysts believe his activity could slow in the championship stages, creating an opportunity for Shakur Stevenson to shift momentum in his favor.
If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Tio looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Tio is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where, he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight, you know what I mean, where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him actually in danger.
Insiders suggest that matchups like Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez are exactly what boxing needs today. Legendary former champion Roy Jones Jr. called it a true clash of elite skills, likening it to high-level showdowns like Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Jones believes fights of this quality bring credibility back to the sport by pitting the very best fighters against each other in their prime.
Start with you, Pierre. Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson getting it on in about 3.5 weeks or something like that. Also on the undercard is Keyshawn Davis, but the main event. Let's jump into the main. Tell me what you're thinking.
You got an ultimate skill fighter versus a boxer who's twitchy, and twitchy sometimes beats out skills. Sometimes that's the side that can really beat a straight up boxer to me. Somebody who's twitchy. Because they don't fight, as normally as most boxers fight. They give angles, body movements, bouncing around like a Lomachenko would done, even a Crawford does, you know what I'm saying, moves different angles and so forth. That's why they can beat a lot of boxers.
Analysts agree that both Stevenson and Lopez bring championship experience, star quality, and plenty to prove. The clash of their contrasting styles, Stevenson's technical mastery, defense, and ring IQ versus Lopez's explosive power, speed, and aggression, sets the stage for a high-stakes, must-watch fight. Matchups like this spark debate, build excitement, and draw in both casual viewers and hardcore fans, as prime fighters take real risks against elite competition. Boxing thrives on these moments, delivering the drama and unforgettable highlights that reignite fan passion.
I don't know who's going to show up what day, what Shakur showing up, or what Tio's going to show up. You get what I'm saying?
Nah, we gonna always Shakur's gonna always be Shakur. The offense that we saw from him in his last fight was just, he knew what he had in front of him, and eventually he knew that he was going to be in a position where he could have his way with the kid who was in the ring. I'm losing his name off the top of my head.
Right, I know you're talking about. But I believe he fought that way because he started hearing all the call of him running. He started saying, you know what? Let me stay in the pocket, because he stood in the pocket a lot more than he normally stood in the pocket with that fight. You know what I'm saying?
It took some unnecessary shots.
Huh?
It took unnecessary shots.
Well, okay, right. Mm-hmm. But you see what kind of fan base he got after that too. The doubters started saying, you know what? I'm gonna roll with him more, because we were getting tired of him running and skillfully beating people. That gets boring. Like Mayweather did his last 10 fights.
Shakur Stevenson's style often gets labeled as boring, but that misunderstands the skill behind his approach. He relies on elite footwork, precise counterpunching, and defensive mastery rather than non-stop aggression or flashy exchanges. Many fans expect dramatic knockouts and relentless action, which Stevenson rarely prioritizes, making his fights appear methodical or slow. Yet this calculated, cerebral style has made him extremely difficult to hit and highly effective against top-tier opponents. While not flashy, Stevenson's technique showcases modern boxing intelligence, proving that control, timing, and strategy can be just as exciting as raw knockout power.
I think y'all scared of Shakur.
Nobody's scared of Shakur, bro.
I think y'all be ducking
Shakur's scared of his shadow, bro.
I
Relax,
think y'all
bro.
be ducking Shakur.
Shakur,
right?
you see his last fight?
It's one the fans want to see, though.
No, they don't.
Yes,
Stop hyping up Shakur.
I want to see Ryan and Shakur.
I've
Devin
not
and
heard that
Shakur.
at all.
Yeah.
I've never
You
heard
wouldn't
that.
want to see that?
I never heard
Absolutely.
that. Nobody on the street has ever been like, yo, Shakur, you would be crazy.
Who should Shakur Stevenson fight next?
I don't think he should fight at all ever again because he just puts the fans to sleep and he's not doing anything entertaining for the damn sport. Honestly, just kick him out of boxing, bro. He's horrible.
God damn.
I'm asking you this. You think Dana would put up with Shakur? He'd be the first one to get kicked out of the UFC, right or wrong?
I will say this. You're right. Dana definitely wants, because it's a promotion, it's an entertainment company.
Okay, boxing's an entertainment company too. He ain't doing the sport a favor, so kick him out.
How would that fight between him and Devin Haney go?
Honestly, man, if you want to get off to that, man, you better off watching like Gabe.
Amir Khan has praised Shakur Stevenson as an exceptionally skilled and technically gifted fighter who adds real value to the sport. Even if his style doesn't always thrill casual fans, Stevenson's precision, defense, and ring intelligence make him extremely hard to hit and defeat, capturing the essence of boxing. While Khan has applauded fighters like Teofimo Lopez for their power and aggression, he also recognizes Stevenson's elite abilities. He notes that many fans mistakenly see tactical, defensive mastery as boring, but at the highest level, slipping punches, controlling distance, and outthinking an opponent are marks of true skill. Stevenson's technique and success against top competition prove that boxing's beauty lies in skill and strategy, not just knockouts.
Think about the criticism that Shakur gets. Like, people say that he's
boring and all that.
he's not entertaining.
I mean, look, he's like an Andre Ward style. Andre Ward wasn't really that entertaining, but got the win. I mean, that's what boxing's all about. So I used to love watching Andre Ward fight because it was so punch perfect. I watched his footwork, how he'd move to the right, to the left, and I trained with him as well, with Virgil. And I used to watch how he trained and how he fought, and I thought how he puts his hands there and uses it as a defense, and then pulls your hands down and catches you over the top, and them little things. So this is a fight that people get, because you got two different styles. You got an offensive, defensive in Lopez, and you've got a defensive in
Shakur Stevenson has been outspoken and confident about both his preparation and mindset ahead of a potential showdown with Teofimo Lopez. Throughout training camp, he's highlighted how sharp, disciplined, and focused he feels, suggesting fans are about to see the best version of himself yet. Stevenson consistently emphasizes execution over hype, trusting that his skills will make the difference on fight night. While he respects Lopez's talent, athleticism, and power, he's clear that any mistakes will be punished. Stevenson believes Lopez's aggressive style could create openings, and is ready to capitalize on them with precise timing. Confident in his game plan, Stevenson aims to dictate the pace and control the fight from start to finish, delivering a performance that leaves no doubt about his elite status.
Division at that time and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans, but I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like, guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy trying to like wear me down so much.
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez enters this fight with renewed confidence and a clear sense of purpose, seeing it as a defining moment in his career. He has expressed that he feels mentally sharp, physically powerful, and completely in sync with his training. Rather than being burdened by expectations, Lopez embraces the spotlight, believing this is the stage he was made for. His mindset reflects both maturity and hunger, shaped by past experiences that have strengthened his determination. Lopez views the bout not as pressure but as an opportunity to showcase his full skill set, speed, power, ring IQ, and competitive fire, reminding the world why he remains one of boxing's most dangerous and talented fighters.
Mine is limitless, though, so then again, it's like I could always succeed to another level with it, and exceed to it. So it's really just trying to just keep it going, you know, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You know, you gotta have fun with what you do. You know, I love this. You know, I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. You know, this has been 20 years in the making, 20 years in this. You know, and I have so much to do and so much to prove within myself. So mentally, I'm prepared. Physically, I'm more than ready. You know, and emotionally, oh, I'm on fire. You know, I'm on fire with it. You know, because all I ever did was try to be great. You know, and it's no longer trying. I am. You know, I am great. And it's all about just continuing and holding that. So it's all about just staying humble throughout the process, keeping myself level-headed, and really just enjoying each day that we get, because tomorrow's never.
A win over Teofimo Lopez would mark a defining moment in Shakur Stevenson's career. Beyond adding another world title to his resume, it would boost his credibility and strengthen his position in negotiations for a long-awaited showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis. Many fans and insiders believe that defeating a proven star like Lopez would be Stevenson's ultimate statement, firmly establishing him as the division's top contender and making a clash with Davis not just highly anticipated but inevitable.
Hard. Man, what do you say to that, bro? Like, you him, bro. I just can't wait to beat him and shut him up, bro. Tio not on this level. Tio is a high-level fighter, but he's not on my level. I'm an elite level fighter, and come January 31st, I'm gonna show it.
You've shown respect to him for his performances in the past, what he's done. He's fought guys like Lomachenko and Taylor. You say that he's not on your level. Why do you think you're on just a different level than him?
Because I seen him at his best. Against Taylor, against Lomachenko, he was at his very best. That was the best he can do. I don't think he can do nothing better than that. So
self-projection.
What I seen from that fight, I feel like I'm way better than them guys. With Lomachenko, like I said, he didn't throw punches for 6
Objection!
rounds. For 6 rounds. So if you ain't throw punches for 6 rounds and you get in front of me,
and you was a
just
fan.
don't know. I would have beat Lomachenko that night easy.
Can Lopez's speed, power, and relentless aggression be the key to defending his belt? Share your predictions in the comments below.